Right, it is 4 p.m. East African time. Today being the 29th of March, the year being 2023. You're just in time for the latest in the world of news here on TV47 Newsfeed this particular afternoon. In the next 20 or so minutes, we're going to keep you up to date in the latest. My name is Mwege William. Welcome to the broadcast. Now, starting off our bulletin is Water Cabinet Secretary, that is Alice Wahome, has told off Azimio leader Raila Odinga over planned demonstrations, saying that Kenya Kwanza government will not be distracted for delivering the pledges to Kenyans. Speaking during the inspection tour of water and sanitation projects in Kirinyaga County, Wahome said that the government is focused on delivering the promises it made during elections and no amount of distractions will stop them. Wahome further stated that Odinga should realize that the only way of joining government is through the ballot and should let the government work and wait for the next election cycle, that is in the year 2027.
So, and I'm seeing some people are uprooting infrastructure. That is a loss to the country, and we must completely discourage the Right Honorable Raila Odinga from the destructive route that he has taken. I don't think that will secure him an entry into government. The entry into government should be through the ballot, and therefore I want to encourage the President not to allow himself to be distracted from the course of development. So tuko kazi na tungetaka kuambia wananchi wasikubali kuingizwa kwa siasa mapema, kwa sababu hii ni wakati wa kutwanga kazi, na mimi nataka ku-encourage wa Kenya wanaonekana wamekataa maneno ya maandamano because there is no time to waste. Na ile kidogo imefanyika haijatuletea any benefits, ni hasara tupu. Wasting a whole day. If you are a business person, I think that is a route, not a route that we should go as a country, and we must discourage.
Now shifting gears to matters education, whereby poverty and low teacher-to-student ratio has posed a major challenge in the implementation of inclusive education for learners with disabilities in the coast region, whereby the Kenyan government and various non-governmental organizations have recently embarked on efforts to provide a quality, equitable, and inclusive education for learners with disabilities as well as special education needs, but the gaps remain unaddressed. According to a recent report from the Pamodzi for Inclusive Education in Southeast Africa, out of 99 special needs school mapped at the coast region, there are only 212 trained teachers attending to over 5,000 learners with disabilities.
Thing that we realized when we visited these schools is that the dropout rates for the boys are significantly higher compared to the boys, where we see at enrollment we have 58% of boys and girls are at 42%, yet we are seeing more boys dropping out of school. So we're seeing more of these learners with disabilities in our schools dropping out, and the question really is, are we having implementation of the policies that are supposed to support these learners in school? Do we have enough teachers, and what are we doing about this?
If well utilized, it is reasonably enough. But for boarding schools, something needs to be done by the government so that it is made easier for the special educators to be able to cater for these children properly over the weekends and even during the school session.
What we have talked with my waziri of education is that we've seen the need, we've seen the gaps. At the moment, from in Kilifi, they have this perception that people living with disabilities, these disabilities are groggy, that there is cultural issue. So most of them actually are being wanafungiwa and doing things like that. But we're trying to talk to them to tell them you need them, because when they continue just having them closer, they will not come enough.
Still on matters education, Mount Kenya University have today hosted the 8th International Interdisciplinary and Inter-Universities Consortium at the Mwai Kibaki Convention Center in Thika. The three-day conference that brought together delegates from Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, Sierra Leone and Poland will see The 6 universities discussed topics such as participatory leadership, innovation, and knowledge transfer for sustainable economies in the world. However, the deliberation of the conference led to a future engagement with the government's institution of learning and other stakeholders in support and promotion of the Sustainable Development Goals 2030 and support of reduced inequalities with our societies.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to appreciate the universities that are here as members of the interdisciplinary and inter-university consortium which have hosted these conferences on a rotational basis for a period of close to 10 years. Mount Kenya University takes pleasure in noting that this is the second time to host this conference. We appreciate the honor and the opportunity. The consortium has a major input into university's mission. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are aware, the universities have a triple mandate of teaching, research, and community engagement. The interdisciplinary and inter-university consortium, as here represented by its member, is a useful strategy for assisting universities in attaining their missions and varied visions. However, as we move into the second decade of our existence as a consortium, maybe more interaction through staff and students' exchange could be explored.
This allows university to partner with many universities, with the industry, and with practitioners in all areas that are positive impacts to human life, namely medicine, animal health and production, education, social and physical sciences, etc. Thus, in a collaborative effort, the communities across the world will be very well benefit from these joint activities of our deliberations during this consortium. In this regard, may all the deliberations of this conference lead to a future engagements with the governments, institutions of learning, and other stakeholders in support and promotion of the Sustainable Development Goals 2030, and more specifically in support of reduced inequalities with our.
Now shifting gears, 21 member states under the United Nations Industrial Development Organization UNIDO from the East Africa Community and the South African Development Community met in Nairobi during the Energy Efficient and Lighting Appliances project launch. The project was aimed at deliberating the achievements made and crafting the way forward towards realizing the efficiency of energy and lighting. According to the UNIDO country representative in Kenya, Kawera Buyana, the adoption of efficient energy and lighting appliances contributed to saving not only to the suppliers of energy but the local consumers and small-scale beneficiaries. Kawera said the use of counterfeit products was a major concern not only for the organization but also the government, as it is contributed to flooding of the market.
The project has incentivized the adoption of efficient lighting and appliance adoption, that is both to the SMEs and to the consumers, even at the local level, for the simple reason that efficient lighting and appliance adoption brings on board savings to the consumer, even the person who is just lighting, and then to the SMEs and to the small scalers. It also saves them energy cost, and in the process they become competitive. That means the production cost goes down because the energy cost has equally gone down. With the counterfeits on the ground, the whole market is flooded with counterfeit goods. We are getting goods that are being brought in, being called ex-US, ex-other countries that are coming in, and those are being sold because the countries where they are originating from recognizes the need for more efficient appliances.
Africa as a continent no longer is the dumping ground for sub-quality equipment that is not energy efficient, that is bad for the environment and bad for the end users. We want to achieve standards in terms of quality and performance that is
from the market, purely because the region has key objectives, which is to attain energy security and attain universal access to all by 2030.
And in the coastal region, Gede residents in Ganze, Kilifi County have finally reclaimed their community land of more than 60 acres of the Gede Mitangani Group Ranch, which had earlier been plotted for grabbing. Local leaders led by the Kilifi Governor Gideon Mungaro had joined the community to celebrate the win as they issued land certificate ownership, while willing to remain committed to looking out for land grabbers and take them to books. At the same time, they have urged the community to commit to paying land rates after the land subdivisions process is over.
Tumefanya sote bidii na tukapata huyu mama. Kama tunavyojua, ardhi inaitwa motherland, haitwi fatherland. Sababu imeitwa motherland ni mama. Mama unatakana tumtunze ndio aweze kutoa matunda. Naweza kusema huu ni urithi wetu, tuulinde, tuangalie na tufikirie mazuri ambayo yatatokezea mbeleni.
Kazi yetu sisi ni kutunga sheria. Na sheria tutazitunga za kunufaisha wananchi. Na hii shida ya mashamba tunaiona. Kuna watu wanaingia kutudharau, kutupokonya mashamba, lakini namhakikishia kitu kimoja. Tutaunda sheria tukishikana na ile executive kiongozwa na governor ili mashamba yetu yabaki kuwa yetu.
Gavana na waziri wetu wa ardhi, kwa niaba ya hawa wananchi, ningeomba muweze kutupatia land rates waiver until tufanye subdivisions.
Hii shamba ambayo leo tunapeana certificate lazima tuikatekate tupatie watu. Unajua hakuna tabu nyingi ya hii community land. Na mimi katika wabunge wote nilipokuwa bunge, mimi ndio nilikuwa mpinzani wa hii shamba ya watu wote waandikwe pamoja. Na nashukuru kwamba sasa mmechange inaitwa Gede Mitangani ili iwe jina la kujulisha hapa mahali.
Well, elsewhere, contractors who build CBC classes have petitioned the president to intervene and have their payment effected as soon as possible. The contractors led by Stephen Morioki said it has been an year since the project was completed, but they are yet to receive any form of payment from the government. The financially struggling contractors now want President William Ruto to intervene and rescue them from the financial woes currently facing them.
Among the people or the contractors who did the CBC classes, right now, we have not been paid our money. The paperwork and the projects are complete and they are already occupied. The sub-county director and the sub-county team have already done their part. They did their documentation, the public works did their documentation, and they have been forwarded to Jogoo House. But it seems now that the officials at the Jogoo House have not yet paid us. So we call upon and we request the CS Machogu, please look at the small contractors who did the 10,000 classes for CBC. We are suffering, we have loans to pay. This money we were told that we are going to get it within 3-4 days. We are talking about a year now that most of the contractors have not been paid.
Years to matters health, Thika Level 5 Hospital has received 10 million shillings donation to boost their services. According to the hospital superintendent, Dr. Robert Moshena, the hospital, which in the recent past was on the spotlight of a lack of drugs and other essential medical supplies, will fully benefit from the donation. Moshena, who welcomed the generous gesture by the donor, said it may not be enough to give the hospital a complete facelift, urging more well-wishers to come on board.
Ophthalmology department in Thika Level 5 is a department which serves the whole of this region and the people even from further regions. because Thika Level 5 being the biggest hospital in Kiambu, received so many patients, and we are very glad anytime we receive any support from our partners. We have many partners who are willing to partner with, and we intend to make sure that this project starts immediately. Yeah, we have so many projects